What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, coming at you from the Pilot in Woodhull, Illinois. I PC'd over here this morning just to get another shower in and get a little bit of food, but last night I was talking to a driver that was thinking about coming to Prime and going lease, and I was kind of talking about being prepared for some of the things that you have no control over, and it got me to think about one of the things that happened to me when I first got out on my first lease, my regular lease, and that was an accident that I got into in St. Louis. So for those of you guys that have been with me for a while, you probably know this story, but I just wanted to kind of tell everybody about that since I was thinking about it, being out in St. Louis and all. So I'd say probably about 2.5 years ago, maybe closer to 3 years ago, I was driving through St. Louis. Now, normally if I'm driving through a major city, I'm going to get into that lane next to the right-hand lane. I'm not just going to be driving in the right-hand lane because I don't want all that merging traffic to be messing with me. But I was going to have to make an interchange, so about a mile before this accident, I did get into the right lane so I could hit that next highway exit. So I go down about another mile, and I hear something, but I don't really feel anything. And I look over in my right-hand mirror, and a car had came off of the on-ramp at a high rate of speed, probably, hit the side of my truck. And I didn't notice all this stuff at first. I just noticed that I got hit. So I'm starting to cuss. I pull over on the side of the road. I'm about a quarter mile away. What had happened to this car was it hit the side of my truck, dented up my fuel tank, busted up my fairings, busted up my APU, bounced off my shit, went through like this little fence that was on the side of the highway, up into like this little neighborhood, and kind of tapped the car that was out there. So I stopped the truck. I'm about to get out, and actually, you know what? I make my call first. So I make my call to 911, tell them what's going on. I'm about to get out of the truck and start taking pictures, walk up to where that car was, and take pictures of that car and everything like that. Well, started walking up to this little neighborhood that this car had bounced off in, and that neighborhood started emptying out like it was training day. I mean, seriously, it went from like nobody outside to like 20 people outside. So I was like, you know, I think I'm gonna let that slide right quick. So I go back to my truck, call safety, kind of let them know what's going on. And Dennis Davis in safety was like, you know, do you have any pictures of, I see the pictures of your truck. Did you take a picture of the damage on their car? And I was like, I'm not sure that that's something I want to do right now. He's like, well, it'd be good if you had some pictures. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to walk up there with all these people out there. I don't know what their mentality is going to be, anything like that. So police officer comes, takes my statement, takes their statement. I guess they were pretty busted up, but they refused ambulance. You see, this was the first thing that I should have thought about. Is as soon as they refused medical help, I should have known that they didn't have any insurance. So anyway, before I even leave the scene, or maybe about 5 minutes after I leave the scene, I get the message that you get from Prime anytime you file a claim. This is to inform you that the $1,000 deductible is going to be taken on the next paycheck, all this kind of stuff. And it kind of pissed me off because I'm still a little flustered from the accident, and I get this message talking about some financial responsibility that I'm going to have to deal with. But at the time, I didn't know they had insurance, or didn't know that they didn't have insurance. But I did find out that they didn't have insurance when I ended up not getting reimbursed for that $1,000, and actually saw the police report when I stopped in at Prime probably about 2 weeks later, and confirmed they didn't have any insurance or anything like that. So one of the things I'm going to say is some of the things that you're going to have to deal with financially are beyond your control. That cost me $1,000. for that accident. There was no fault of my own. Now, the one thing I will say is they at least did claim responsibility for hitting my truck. They weren't trying to, I mean, it would have been pretty obvious anyway, but they weren't trying to blame it on me or anything like that. So that was $1,000 I got hit with, and that was shortly after I started my first lease. And right before that happened, a deer came off the side of the road and hit the side of my truck, which cost another $1,000. So, you know, those were a couple things that hit me kind of right off the bat. It might have been, I'm trying to think of how long ago that was, because had to be maybe 3.5 years ago. I'm not exactly sure, but you know, at the time I didn't really have all that much money in my emergency fund, just because I kind of just got out on the road. I might have had $4,000, something like that. But these are things that you have no control over, and those are things that you don't have control over. There's some things that you have control over that you could get hit with too. You know what I'm saying? It could be backing into somebody, hitting some shit, getting stuck in a ditch. You know, these are all things that I see that happen out there that people get hit for. A tow bill out here alone is going to be, shit, on the extremely low end, $600. On the high end, $1,600. So be prepared. If you don't have an emergency fund with Prime or whatever company that you're with, that's not necessary, but at least have the financial backup for these unexpected events. Anyway, got that Cornhusker lotion on my hands. Knuckles look good as hell this morning. But about to leave out here to deliver at 11 a.m. I'm 20 miles away. It doesn't look like there's like really anywhere to kind of post up out there. It's a very, very small shipper, so I'm probably gonna get there like maybe 10:30, something like that, just because it only looked like there were 3 spots for trucks to post up and wait to be unloaded. So I don't want to be in a situation where I'm kind of stuck out here with nowhere to go. But that's what's going on with me. I do appreciate you guys stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. As always, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.